Hi there, my name is Oliver Thomas Coles Brackenbury, although you can call me Charlie. That would be inaccurate though, really you should just call me Oliver. I'm a 28-year-old man in Canada whose parents are from England, and I have been making YouTube videos since the middle of 2008 when I started with my show In a Handful of Minutes, which I started doing because, frankly, in trying to get various short film projects off the ground, I've become immensely frustrated by my collaborators consistently becoming more interested in other projects or being just plain unreliable and crapping out on me. I needed something that I could control and have it be pretty much all mine, even though I actually needed a lot of help to get the first 7 episodes filmed and put together. I've been doing the show for close to 3 years now, I guess we're getting there. I still very much enjoy a lot of aspects about it, but recently I've seen 2 videos that have brought a lot of thoughts I've had burbling in the back of my mind for months now to the foreground. One of those videos is called An Open Letter to YouTube. It's by a guy called Andrew Bravner, and it's been getting some traction for good reason, I think. In the video, essentially, he articulates a lot of frustrations that he's having with YouTube and the way he feels that the way that the community has evolved. It now seems to almost discourage people from making videos unless they're of a very specific type of video maker. I really feel a lot of his frustrations. I'm certainly not the only one. I really suggest you check out that video. I've got a link in the usual place. You can go watch it and come back here, or you can watch it at the end. Don't worry, you won't be lost if you don't wait, ever even watch it ever. But I think it's worth watching if you don't have to be a creator. If you just enjoy watching videos on YouTube and you're curious about where it's going to go, this whole YouTube thing. The other video that inspired this one was simply called Hello by Charlie McDonald. He tossed that one up today. And while he doesn't say anywhere that it is a response to an open letter to YouTube, it does feel a bit like one. It does feel a bit like one. I mean, I could do the whole YouTube detective thing and point out that, oh, you see, Charlie liked the open letter to YouTube a week ago, and then only 1 week later he made this video. It's just reading tea leaves, and I can't be bothered to actually harass the man about something so trivial. But the point of mentioning those 2, right, as I said, they brought a lot of things that have been going on in my head to the front. And Open Letter to YouTube brought forward a lot of my, articulated a lot of my feelings of frustration that even though I've worked very hard to consistently try and make my show better, and until recent months where a variety of things have disrupted the hell out of my production of the show, I had, for at least a good 2 years running there, new episodes every single week, and sometimes, on rare occasions like this January past, I even got a 5th video out in the month. And my progress is not something to be unhappy with entirely. I'm a YouTube partner. I mean, I haven't made a dime, but I'm a YouTube partner, so that's cool. And I have made a lot of, really cool acquaintances and pals through it. I've really enjoyed the comments that I've gotten from people. I've really enjoyed going to VidCon last year and getting to meet a couple of people in person, or even meeting my fan Vida1892 in Montreal back in November, I think it was, whenever that was exactly. Lots of cool stuff. I even got to be on TV, local TV in Toronto, again, $0, but, that's kind of cool. These are all things that wouldn't have happened if I hadn't done the show, and I've also, the show has forced me to continue to be as curious about things as I've always been, but I suppose a little more aggressively so, which I like. As I'm so fond of saying, first world problem here, I shouldn't really kvetch, but I have felt lately that it has been a little discouraging, putting out videos, because it takes a lot of time to assemble them the way I do, and I felt like, when I started, I felt like if I did a certain format, and if I had, had something that was very much me and mine, it wasn't just, yet another person video blogging, not that there's anything wrong with that, but, just saying, there's a lot of that going on. I thought that maybe I would be able to make myself be more distinguished and stand out, and people might pass me around more and go, hey, check out this neat new thing. But, despite having some very fortunate things happen, some very positive boosters from other people, I'm not really that far along when you consider how long I've been doing the show. And so I guess I have allowed myself to get a little discouraged, and I want to put a stop to that starting today. Now, this is where Charlie's video comes in, because as much as you can have the negative thing, which I feel has its place, with the open letter to YouTube, which is profoundly sort of a negative video trying to encourage positive change. I really liked Charlie's video because it was a very positive, just, hey, here's me, here's what I'm doing, here's why I'm doing it, here is why I would like to continue doing it, and so on and so forth. Very, very positive, and just his whole thing about, why he does it, it's because it's fun, right? And I mean, it's amazing. That sounds so simple, right? Just do it if it's fun. If it's not fun, don't do it. But, that can easily get forgotten over time. And I have to be honest, my own focus, although I was always doing it for fun on the whole, that is sort of the share of the pie of why I was doing it that became was fun, we started getting a little smaller as I became more and more focused on trying to build my audience and, heaven forbid, make a living from my creativity, which I'd like to point out that contrary to what so many people like to say on YouTube and elsewhere on the internet and in real life, is never a vulgar thing. It's not a vulgar thing to want to make a living from your creativity. It's a vulgar thing to want to trick people into, liking and commenting on your videos or buying your merchandise. It's a vulgar thing to, be uncreative and just vomit forth, bloody great thick white ropey strands of crapola all over people's heaving bosoms. That's vulgar. But as the son of two people who make a living from their creativity as jewelers, and through whom I have met so many other people that made a living, and other people through their creativity or a partial living, and I know people in my own age as well as in my parents' generation and in between who do that, I just want to clarify right here for the record, not a vulgar thing to want to make a living from your creativity. And it's not a vulgar thing to want to get more viewers, as long as you're not just obsessed with numbers and treating YouTube like a video game, because the more people you have watching you, the more people you have encouraging you, and the more people you have encouraging you, the better you feel about what you're doing, and I don't think that's wrong. I want to keep feeling motivated to do videos, and the onus there is really on me, of course, and I'm going to keep trying to make the best videos I can, but I've got to do something a little different, I think, from this point onward, and that's to simply try and emancipate myself from my own self-imposed format. I'm going to keep doing classic, handfuls every once in a while, but I just want to do them when they feel really good. I don't want to keep doing them to crank them out to meet a schedule that I set myself. I want to stop being such a hard boss on myself, because that has resulted in me making a couple of episodes that I started doing the editing, and then I just go, geez, I don't like this. Why did I make this episode? Oh, right, because I was trying to make sure I had a video every single week, and, I was worried more about feeding a machine than doing something that I specifically in each episode's instance really loved, which is, and I mean, I want to build a bigger audience, and I would love to, make even a partial income. If I could make minimum wage, I would be the happiest man. If I could make minimum frigging wage from, some combination of things involving in a handful of minutes, that would be just amazing. Not because, then I'd be making that sweet dollar, but because then I would have more time and energy and freedom to do more interesting, exciting, and bigger things. I would then share with you guys and back and forth, because, as Charlie points out in his video, and I agree with him, like, he takes a lot of pleasure from the personal thing, the idea of making something for one person, times a bunch, I guess. And with me, I definitely take a lot of pleasure from the one-on-one interactions that I have via comments and all that, and sometimes emails, and sometimes, even, meeting in person with the people who enjoy the stuff I put out there. And that enjoyment feeds into videos that then hopefully you guys enjoy, and then you let me know they're enjoyed, and that makes me feel even better, make me want to do more videos, and then you see more videos, and then, did you see the circle here, the cycle here? So, yeah. In the interest of keeping that cycle going, I'm freeing myself. Updates are going to just happen when they happen for a while now, and that doesn't mean that the show is going to slowly bleed to death. Actually, it's probably going to result in more updates, because mixing that up with the fact of me freeing myself from my format, I'm going to start putting out videos here that are going to be different, and not come up with a weird bookending thing like the show being bought out, although that was fun. That was last summer, link below if you don't know what I'm talking about. And I'm also just going to make sure that I am really more myself in my videos. I had a lot of people sort of micromanage me with comments and suggestions and stuff about how I should present, and I've ended up watching myself in videos and feeling like, it's me, but not really. I speak really slowly in my presenter voice, and I don't care for that anymore. So, yeah. What is this all going to result in? I don't know, but I can tell you this much. There's going to be another video today, and there'll be a sort of a classic video, so to speak, on Tuesday, if all goes according to plan, so hooray. And one of the other many things, along with the technical problems I've been wrestling with for ages now, it feels like, which are, finally behind me, I've also been working on a really cool big project with actual scripts and actors and all that kind of stuff, so there's going to be news about that. I don't know precisely when, but somewhere in the next week or two, I think. So soon, anyways, whenever that will happen. So exciting stuff on the horizon, but anyways, as I say, you guys should really check out An Open Letter to YouTube and Charlie's Hello video. I think they're both wonderful, and maybe they'll help you sort of draw a little bit of, if you're a creator, draw a little bit of clarity about what you're doing with your own stuff, which I think is just ever so valuable. So that's really all I have to say for now. My camera's running out of battery, so there's a good closing line. My camera's running out of battery. Da 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 da.